They called him the man who could fix time. But no one ever asked what time had cost him. This is the story of the man who remembered too late. In a small, fog-veiled town, tucked between forgotten hills, lived an old clockmaker named Eli. His workshop was a timeless cave of ticking, tokaying, whirring, and winding. Wooden clocks, grandfathers, pocket watches, all restored to precision by Eli's weathered hands. People came from cities to see the man who could fix time. But behind his steady hands was a man who hadn't truly lived in years. In his shop stood a grand, brass-rimmed clock. Beautiful, majestic. The hands were stuck at 10:08. Visitors asked why it wasn't fixed. He'd always smile and say, "That clock isn't broken. It just remembers." He never explained more. But every evening after the customers left, he'd sit beside it, not working, just sitting, as if honoring something only he could see. One rainy autumn morning, a traveler named Mira wandered into his shop, burned out, disillusioned, on the edge of walking away from a successful life that felt empty. She asked Eli if he could fix her old wristwatch, a gift from her late father. He nodded. "Takes time to fix time." She smiled faintly. "That's all I seem to be running out of." Intrigued by her honesty, Eli invited her to stay for coffee. Rare gesture. Day after day she returned. She spoke of her endless to-do lists, the corporate ladder she was climbing, the goals she hit but never felt, always chasing, never arriving. One day she asked about the 10:08 clock, and Eli finally answered. "At 10:08 p.m. 5 years ago my son passed away. I was in this shop, adjusting a pendulum for a customer. He had called earlier but I ignored it. Thought I'd call him later. I missed his final breath because I was fixing someone else's time, and losing mine." Mira froze. He continued. "You know what I remember most? Not the pain, but the ordinary things I took for granted. His laughter from the kitchen, the unfinished chess games, his habit of always leaving the door half open. I missed all of it, trying to build a life instead of being in it." Mira couldn't sleep that night. Eli's words echoed through her soul. She thought of her own father's funeral, how she left early to make a client meeting. She thought of all the birthdays she missed, all the later calls she never made, and how success was always just around the corner, yet never close enough to feel. The next day, she sat beside Eli and asked, "If you had another hour with your son, what would you do?" He didn't hesitate. "I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't try to make it profound. Just be with him. Undistracted. Undivided. I'd hold his hand. Let him know in silence that I see him, that I chose him." Still, Mira wept. That moment became her turning point. She decided to leave the corporate life, not out of failure, but as an act of choosing life before it passed her by. She didn't throw away her dreams. She redefined them. From chasing moments to creating them. Months passed. Mira opened a small storytelling cafe in her hometown. Moments and mornings. No phones allowed. People shared stories, sat with strangers, and simply were. At the heart of the cafe was a gift, a clock from Eli, stuck intentionally at 10:08. Underneath it was a quote. "Some clocks don't count minutes. They count moments you never got to live." Until now, people began changing. Not overnight, but gradually. Families lingered longer. Strangers became friends. And somewhere in the mountains, Eli sat at peace. Not because he fixed everything, but because he helped someone else live what he once lost. We live like time is infinite. We chase success and call it purpose, forgetting to live in the process. But the deepest regrets are never about what we failed to do. They're about what we forgot to feel while doing it. We say later like it's a promise. But later is a myth dressed in comfort. Are you building a schedule? Or losing your soul inside it? Share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, the most unlived life is the one where we were never truly there. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless tales and life-changing lessons. See you in the next story.